What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Tari K, and I'm back with another video. So this video is going to be about line holder versus reserve. Which one's better or worse? Honestly, in my opinion, being a line holder is so much better, especially if you commute. I'm saying that because number one, you know, you pick your trips. Not always, but you have what am I trying to say? You have better control of your schedule, okay? Of your schedule. I've been like watching The Crown, so like if I start talking British, like don't judge me. If you have not watched The Crown, you really should, especially if you're interested in like period pieces and period shows or whatever. You should totally watch it. So let's go ahead and stop the ranting and get into it. Like I was saying before, when it comes to your schedule, as a reserve flight attendant, you are at the mercy of the company. That means they can call you at whatever time of the day, night that you are available. So say for instance, you're available, like for instance, today is the 19th. So if I were on call today and tomorrow, that means I would have went on call at midnight. So technically like what, last night, I would have went on call at midnight. I would be on call from midnight to 11:59 p.m. and then again at midnight tonight until 11:59 p.m. tomorrow. So that means they can call me within that window. I don't know what that is, y'all, but they can call me within that window at any time. When you're a line holder, I'm not even gonna confuse y'all, but when you're a line holder, 95% of the time you're not on call. You don't have to worry about that, okay? You just know where you're working. Now if y'all are interested in the other part, let me know and I'll put it in another video. But yeah, I don't want to confuse you guys too much. So that is the difference between reserve life and line holder life when it comes to your schedule. Now when it comes to pay for a reserve, for my company, you're guaranteed 78 hours of pay. So even if you don't fly 78 hours, you're still gonna get that 78-hour pay. Now if you live at base, that is like perfect, especially in the wintertime. You might work maybe 2 trips that month and you still getting your whole pay. Like that's amazing. Line holder life, honey, you gotta work. You gotta work hard for your money, okay? It ain't no sitting around getting paid. There are instances where, say for instance, like you are supposed to work the trip and say for instance that flight gets canceled, you are what's called pay protected. So you will still get paid even though you didn't work it, unless they reassign you. That's a whole nother thing too. So you can be reassigned to work another flight and then you have to work for, you know, your coins. But there are instances where, for example, I was supposed to work a trip, but my trip that was right before it got in late and I wasn't able to rest the minimum amount of hours required for me to fly the next trip. So I was actually paid for that trip without having to work it. So when I tell you that was a blessing, because your girl is tired, that was a blessing. So that is something that is great. With reserve, it is a little bit harder to make more money sometimes. That makes sense. As a line holder, you could build your schedule up to 100 and I've seen 120 hours that people have built their schedules up to, and of course that's when you're gonna make more money. I hope I'm not like rambling too much. I'm just trying not to confuse you guys, because the pay itself is just a whole nother video. But I'm just saying, we're gonna say it this way, okay? 9 times out of 10, you're gonna make more money as a line holder than you are as a reserve, especially if you know how to set your trips up correctly, okay? We're gonna leave it at that. All right, moving along. When it comes to reserve versus line holders, when you're reserved, you always have to be prepared. Like your bag has to stay packed. You gotta stay ready. So you gotta stay ready, so you have to get ready, okay? Like that is what it is. When you are a line holder, you know when you gotta go to work, unless something happens, you know, you don't have to or whatever. You don't have to keep your bag as prepared as you would if you were a reserve. And also piggybacking off of that, when you're a reserve, you don't always know where you're going. And like for me, I commute, so that means I have to pack for warm and cold weather, especially during this time of the year, because right now I'm in Georgia. It's like less than 50 degrees out there but I can go to Florida and it's 80 degrees. So it's like, okay, what do I do? Or if I go to, for instance, I went to Denver last month, y'all, it was 6 degrees. So it's like you have to just be prepared for both types of weather, because you never know. When you are a line holder, you know where you're going, so you are prepared to pack for that. You don't have to carry all this extra unnecessary stuff around, okay? That's what it is. Now, another difference between being a line holder and a reserve is, although I have not had a crash pad since the end of January, I would say that if you are reserved, especially just starting off, get a crash pad, because you need to, being on reserve can, especially starting off, can be stressful enough without the added stress of sleeping at the airport or worrying about if you're going to be able to fly in before your trip as a reserve, because you're brand new. You're still trying to figure a lot of other things out, and that's not something you want to stress about. So just get a crash pad. Now me, I've been in it 3 years now. I know how to make it work without having a crash pad. And there are still some days, especially this month, I was like, your girl might need to get a crash pad. But like, it worked out. Like, it's already the 19th and I just, you know, it's worked out. But that's all I would say. There are line holders that have crash pads, but you honestly don't necessarily need it if you're a line holder, if you can make it work for you. Like for me, as a line holder, I made sure that I was able to get trips with late check-ins and trips that got back early, okay? And that's how I made it work. Everybody does not have that luxury, okay? So I'll put that out there. With the reserve and line holder, most of the time you need a crash pad. Reserve, much more than line holder, okay? That's that. Now, y'all think I deleted my notes? Okay, I found them. All right, so another difference between, or similarity, however you want to look at it, reserves, although we are on standby, although we are, standby, on call, you may have to report to the airport and cover any flights that the company needs you to cover at that time. So you will just basically be sitting by your phone in the crew lounge waiting to see if they need you to do what's called a pre-board. That means you just help board the flight and then you go about your business. They may need you to actually take over the other flights in this position, okay? So that means you actually go and work that flight or that trip or whatever. When you are a line holder, that does not happen often. Now, there are some instances where your trip, like I mentioned earlier, your trip could fall apart, get canceled, or a portion of your trip could get canceled, and they may put you, they may basically use you as a standby person, or, you know, give you a trip that they need someone to cover. That doesn't happen very often, but it does happen, okay? So with being a reserve for my company, I am Newark based, but I also cover LaGuardia as well. And when you are reserve, you go where they send you. I'm not gonna lie, there's been times where I was like a little, I don't really know how to say this. Let's just say I was not in the best mood to go to LaGuardia, because with my company, and when I had a crash pad, you have to Uber to the airport, or you could Uber straight to LaGuardia, but who wants to pay $100 one way? Not me. No thank you. So you have to Uber to the airport and take the company provided shuttle from the airport to LaGuardia. But this is the thing, that shuttle only runs about four times a day, and it's like at weird hours, and it's like, yeah, so you have to like sometimes get up way earlier and do that. Hold on 1 second, please. Hey mommy, let me call you back, I'm filming a video. Bye. Hey mom. So anyway, Yeah, so that's annoying. But when you are a line holder and you live in Queens and you only want to work LaGuardia trips, yeah, go ahead. That's you. Do what you want to do, honey. You know, if you live in Jersey, you only want to work Newark trips, do that. So that definitely, I'm gonna say line holder definitely wins that one, okay? Because yeah, I didn't actually mention this, but I meant to say, since I was talking about covering different airports, when it comes to reserve and line holder, because you don't know your schedule in advance, you don't have a way of just dropping your trips ahead of time and people picking them up or trading trips. When you are a line holder, you're able to do that. You're able to drop your entire schedule if you can and just pick up on days that you want to work, or you can trade trips with fellow flight attendants. So that's another thing about your schedule being a line holder or a reserve flight attendant. And then another thing is that sometimes, but this is just being a flight attendant in general, and thank God I have not dealt with this. I'm pretty good with, I think I'm pretty good, I don't know, maybe I'm not, but I'm just thinking it in my head. But anyway, sometimes when you're reserved, your relationships definitely suffer, because you know what, no, I'm gonna say it's mostly being reserved. Because as a line holder, you could, like I said, you could drop trips, pick up trips, and it's a lot easier to, you know, manipulate your schedule. But when you're reserved, you miss out on you can miss out on a lot. I've missed out on holidays, I've missed out on christenings, I've missed out on birthdays, graduations, the list goes on. So relationships suffer because you don't know. And like, the thing about being a flight attendant is the only other person that really understands your life is another flight attendant, or even maybe pilots. But people don't really understand everything that goes into being a flight attendant, you know? And sometimes it's difficult, but it is super rewarding. I'm not gonna say it's not, because y'all, even if I get another job or something, I'm gonna still try to hold on to my flight attendant job. I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna still try to hold on, because the job itself is super easy. The benefits are great. It's just everything else that goes along with it. So like I said, I didn't want this video to get too long, but I hope that this video was helpful to help you understand, you know, line holder versus reserve, and then also like what you have to look forward to if you are reserved. I've honestly experienced both. So yeah. And honestly, like I said, there's pros and cons to both, because some people absolutely love being on reserve. Me personally, it's not my cup of tea, but to each his own, okay? So anyway, thank you guys who have held, thank you guys for hanging tough. Y'all the real MVPs, because I know, like I said, I've been ghost, and I needed a moment. I needed just some time to just like reflect and make some decisions, and that's all. But yeah, thank you to Malik. Shout out, because you know, I did see your message and I did respond. I thank you so much for like checking in with me. I'm great, I just needed some time away. And yeah, so like I said, I hope this video was helpful to you guys. I hope you guys are happy and healthy wherever you're watching this. If you guys want to see this makeup look, then let me know and I'll post that video, because I did film it before I did this video. Just, you know, getting my feet wet a little bit with filming makeup stuff. But yeah, I don't know. And I am rambling. Yeah. So I love you guys, and I will see you guys in my next video. It should not be too far after this one, okay? And if you haven't watched my other videos, go ahead and, you know, look at them. You might enjoy them, okay? Anyway, yeah, so I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas if I don't say it in my next video, okay? Or whatever holiday you celebrate around this time, okay? Love you guys, and like I said, I'll see you guys in my next video.